Hi, welcome to the Solution Prescribers podcast. My name is Moises and I'll be your host. And we are excited to have you join us. As we start today, I would like to start with a Japanese proverb that I love. It states the following: Vision without action is daydreaming. Vision without action is daydreaming. And how many times have we laid there in our bed or sat in our office daydreaming about what we want our clinic or our practice to look like as we are building our cash-based service practice? And we have a vision, but then maybe we don't know how to act upon that. We don't know what the next steps to take. But the second sentence of that Japanese proverb really hit home to me, and it states, action without vision is a nightmare. Action without vision is a nightmare. And how many times have we laid in bed in a nightmare going, geez, or even we're working and we're like, geez, I'm working so hard and I don't know where I'm headed. I don't know how to get to where I want to get. I work hard and I'm not seeing the results. And my heart is there and my investment is there. And I just don't know how to take it to the next level. And we're living in that nightmare. And so our goal as we gather together as a community or a group as Solution Prescribers is to be able to balance that vision and balance that action so we can execute. And when that's aligned, we start thriving. When the vision and the action is aligned, your action is tied to your vision, then you begin to thrive. So that's our goal today or the goal as a community is that we find ways, we share best practices, we share what's working, we share some of the challenges, but our goal as a community is that we get to thrive, that we thrive together and we're not stuck in a daydream and we're not stuck in a nightmare. And so why Solutions Prescribers? Oftentimes as we've shadowed practices all throughout the country, all throughout the nation, one thing that's common is that there's people with great hearts. You have a license, you're a provider, you are a doctor, you're a nurse practitioner, you are an RN, you are an esthetician, and you've dedicated your time in that licensing, and you want to be able to provide great results for your patients, for your clients. And so you want that, but then you also are flirting in this space of the industry with a little bit of retail. It's a little bit of I've got to tell you what to do. I've got to persuade you on what's going to get you to the outcome as a patient. And so the difference, I want everybody to take a minute and think about what's the difference between prescribing as somebody who has a license to prescribe. What's the difference between you prescribing something to your patients versus your patients going to somewhere, to a place, to a pharmacy, whatever that is, and getting that dispensed to them? Take a minute and write that down. What's the difference between those two? And if you really think about it, when you prescribe, I mean, you identify the symptoms of the illness or the challenge that they're facing, and you prescribe a solution to them. You prescribe a roadmap, a medication that's going to help them overcome what they're facing and get to that next level, whether that's feeling better, losing weight, whatever that is, whatever the goal is in that specific scenario. When you are dispensing, as a dispenser, if I go and get my medication dispensed, whoever's delivering that back to me, they cannot make a change in my prescription. If I say, well, no, I want double the doses, please, they'll go, no, you got to talk to your prescriber. Your prescriber is the one that has control over that. I'm only here to dispense. And so as we are visiting with our patients and our clients, take a minute and let's think about this. How often when we're talking to them, they come with their own prescription? Your patient or your client comes, hey, I want this done. I want these many fillers done, or I want these many units of Botox or toxin, excuse me. I want these fillers. I want these amount of units of toxin, or I want to be able to lose weight, or I want to be able to get this done, whether you're a plastic surgeon or you're a hormone replacement therapy or you're a dermatologist. And they come, and because they heard that it works for somebody else, they steal or they imitate, duplicate that prescription, and they bring it over to you, which is great. They're trusting you. They're in your chair. Now it is my responsibility to listen to that, get their input, if you will. And then I, as the one that has the license, as the expert, I'm the one that writes that prescription. I don't dispense. the challenge that we've faced in this industry, as once again, as we've shadowed practices throughout the country, is that they are allowing the patient, excuse me, or the client to give us the prescription, and then we dispense. And so now we're dispensing their roadmap. Think about that. We are dispensing the roadmap that they are designing for themselves, yet we're the experts. And then we feel like, no, I don't want to offend them by changing the prescription. Offend them? You're offending them by not being the expert. You are the expert. You're the one that writes the prescription. Instead, listen to them as the symptoms, as they describe those symptoms or the challenges, get to the heart, figure out what they want, and then at that point, together collaborate in that prescription. But you're the one. It's your notepad. It's your autograph at the end. It's your signature. It's your advice. You're the one writing that prescription for them, and then you dispense it, or maybe you have one of your other providers dispense it, or however that works. But you're the one writing that prescription. And so we are the ones as solution prescribers. Our goal, our challenge, our invitation is that we take back that power. We step into our duty, which is to write the prescription for our patients and tell them this is what needs to happen. This is the roadmap. Now, I get it. Sometimes they come in and they go, I only have this much money, and so I want you to be able to make this happen, and here you go. And then we go, okay, that's what they're telling me, so I'm going to make it fit. I get it. We want to listen to our patients, listen to our clients, but there's nothing better than an expert telling the patient, here's what you need to do. I know your challenges, and let's discuss challenges later, money later. Let's discuss timing later. Let me just tell you what needs to happen to get to your goals. Let's talk about those roadmaps, those steps that need to take place in order for you to get to your goal. That's the prescription. How we apply the prescription, how it's dispensed, that's a different story. That's a different conversation. That is a different conversation. But we first want to prescribe them according to truth, which is according to their results, not according only to their challenges. Then we can adapt the prescription as we dispense it according to their needs. That's the dispense part. But as we prescribe it, be true to the results. Make it true to the results. And so, having said that, the first tip that I want to be able to share as you are delivering the roadmap or discussing the roadmap or identifying the roadmap for our patients is discovering your 5 soda of choice. The way that our patients or our clients may communicate. We all come in for a different reason. We all buy for different reasons, but we all want to buy. We all want to make that purchase or take that next step. And so I'd like to discuss the 5 different sodas of choice as we are prescribing or understanding, seeking to understand our patients before we deliver that prescription. Okay, and so imagine if I actually everyone, I'm going to invite anybody who's listening, write down or think about what is my favorite soda of choice. If I was super thirsty and I was left in the desert for days, and then somebody came up to me and said, okay, what would you like to drink? Aside from water, which I know everybody likes water. So aside from water, and yes, you can include adult drinks if you want to, but aside from water, what is your favorite drink? What is it you drink it and you'll be like, thank you, this is what I wanted, and give me more. What is that? Okay, everybody have a mental note. Now, mine, I love me some Coke Zero. I love that. So if I were to ask around the group how many people wanted, and nobody said Coke Zero, and then I came back to my boss or my manager, I'd come back by saying, nobody's thirsty. I mean, are they thirsty? They probably are thirsty. In fact, I know they're thirsty because they've been in the desert for days with no water. So it's not the fact that they're not thirsty, it's the fact that they want their soda. Maybe they hate Coke Zero. And maybe they rather something else. Maybe they'd rather a different brand or a different flavor. And so I'm coming back saying they're not thirsty, and it's wrong. They are thirsty. It's just not what I'm delivering. I'm not delivering their soda of choice. I'm delivering my soda of choice. So as we discuss needs or pain points or goals with our patients, with our clients, beware of delivering your soda of choice. And yeah, maybe I'll convert patients into road plans, beauty plans, health plans, according to my soda of choice because it was their soda of choice. So My soda of choice and their soda of choice happen to be the same one. So, oh, those are easier to talk to. But I go, oh, that I speak with another patient. They go, oh, they're not going to close. They weren't interested. They weren't interested in your soda of choice. But if I become an expert in at least the 5 most popular sodas of choice, chances are that I'll be able to convert those at a much higher level, at a much higher rate. So let's discuss the 5 different sodas of choice in which our patients might fall under. Okay, the first one is pain relief. So let's write that down. Make a note of that. Pain relief is the first soda of choice. It's very common in our industry that people come in for because of pain. Now, I'm not talking about headache pain, even though that could be the case, right? Pain, something's hurting them, but it's usually we're discussing pain when it comes to emotional pain. They're embarrassed, they're shy, there's some shame to it. So, for example, let's just say that I have adult acne and I'm getting a lot of scarring, and now I'm frustrated because I have that and I want to get rid of that. That's on that pain relief. And so that's on that pain relief. On how do I minimize the pain? How do I get rid of the pain? And so in our industry, if I use like the adult acne, that it could be that. It could be the fact that I had acne when I was a kid. I got rid of it and now it's coming back again. What do I do? And then they're coming to ask questions because that's what they're interested in. Another example of pain relief could be somebody who maybe they're having sexual intimacy or sexual challenges, if you will, whether it's like ED as an example. And so there's that shame or that pain of I want to be able to have sexual intimacy with my partner, but I'm unable to because of this. So now I'm avoiding intimacy with my partner because I'm not able to perform at that level. So that becomes that shame or that pain. And so people are coming in because of that pain relief. I'll use one more example, and that will be laser hair removal. Laser hair removal, maybe I or somebody has a very hairy back, and every time I go to the pool, I feel embarrassed. It's like, braid it for me because it's so hairy. And that brings shame or embarrassment. So instead, they come in here to our clinic because they want that removed. So how do you help me get that removed? And so that's the first level. So write down in your specific practice, what does that look like? What does that sound like? What are some of the services or reasons why people come in that fall under that soda of choice, which is pain relief? Usually that's going to be internal. Okay, that's number one. Number two, step two. Let's go to number two. The second soda of choice is going to be pain relief, and then the second one is preservation. I know you can edit that. So the second one is going to be preservation. The second soda of choice is preservation. And when it comes to preservation, it's like people come in so they can protect something. They can protect their investment. They can protect their health. They can protect their youth. Oftentimes, think about product sales, team. Product sales. When you think about product sales, that falls under preservation. And what I mean by preservation is that they've already invested in a service, and the post care happens to be products. And so that becomes preservation. Another example of preservation, and toxin is a great example for this. Toxin used to be for people in their late 30s, 40s, 50s. That's when toxin was very popular. And now it's gone to the low 20s and late teens, low 20s. And it's all because of preserve your youth, protect what you have. And so when someone is already looking a certain way or feeling a certain way, coming in with pain does not make sense. That's like me coming with Coke Zero just because it's my favorite. But pain relief may not be the conversation I want to have with them. The conversation I want to have with them is more going to be about preservation. How do we continue to protect what you currently have? Okay. The third soda of choice is going to be pleasure. And so a lot of us buy out of pleasure, out of excitement, out of BOGOs, out of parties, out of my friend got it, so I'm getting it, out of open houses. And so when you create that open house, when you create that buy one, get one for free, when you create that promotion, think about you're talking to them in that excitement of you're here with us, you might as well do it now. There's a discount, don't miss out on that opportunity. And so that becomes the soda or the conversation that we're having. That's the feeling that they have, and that's the feeling that we ride when we're having that conversation and we're converting them into their roadmap, beauty mat, health map, whatever that is, okay? The fourth soda of choice is going to be Prestige. Now, this one's unique because Prestige, there's two different categories for this. One that's external and one that's internal. And so Prestige is sometimes like, where do I go and get that done? Like it's the practice. What's their credentials? What's their licensing? Where are they located? What does that look like? What does that feel like? It's location, it's their process, it's their brand. And so I'm going to this specific place because of the prestige. It makes me feel part of their community. Okay. But then the other one is internal, which is for yourself and for themselves as a patient. We have clients and I admit, I used to be one of those when I was younger, in my late 30s. And they asked me, "You're looking so young. What do you do?" And I'm like, "It's my water and vegetables and my nightly walks," which I didn't either. And so it was more like, how do I keep it a secret that what I'm doing is just for me to know. And the prestige is, you look so young, you age so gracefully. What's going on? And you're like, just water, water, water. And just because the prestige is for themselves. And then we also have patients where they do everything and they post it and they're excited about it because for them it's prestigious to share. I get this done. I can do this. I'm with the latest and the newest. And so it's all about feeding that soda of choice, that prestige soda of choice, which will go, like I said, with the practice itself or internally with the patients, okay? And then the last one is going to be the purpose or the profit or the X is what I call it. And so I'm getting a service done specifically for this reason, for this event. So let's say, for example, I want to get toxin as a male, and it's because I'm an older gentleman and I'm applying for the CEO position. And I'm competing against all these younger guys, and I want to look a little bit more refreshed, more fresh. And so what do I do? So I'm asking not because I really have cared, nor do I care much in the future. It's more about what's going on right now. So then you want to address that X, and then you take it from that X to another X, to another purpose, to another purpose, to another reason why they want something. Same thing, like for example, if I want to get, a body contouring procedure done. And so, okay, great, let's get body contouring. And the reason why I want it is just because I'm going on this cruise with all my family and I want all my sisters-in-law to say, "She looks so good." And I want to look like the best one on the ship. And so it's that purpose. Before that, after that, I don't care much about it. It's because of that specific event, your high school reunion, whatever that is. And it's identifying what that X is for them. It may include some pain, but it's really not pain. It's more, I want it done for this. Other than that, I'm fine continuing to be the way it is. And so as you are speaking to your patients, to your clients, identify what is their soda of choice. What is it that they want from that? I mean, what's really driving them to make the purchase or driving them to have the conversation with you. And as you identify that soda of choice and then you deliver that soda of choice during your consult and you make sure that their thirst is satisfied because you delivered something that they want and desire and enjoy, chances are they'll continue with your roadmap, beauty map, health map, whatever that is, to accomplish their goals. And so once again, it's about you prescribing. After you identify the needs, you prescribe that solution for you. And so we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear how this is going for you as a team. Apply this week on okay, which soda of choice do I usually deliver? So I have an invitation for you. Identify which one do you tend to go to. What is your go-to soda of choice? Is it pain relief? Is it preservation? Is it pleasure? Is it prestige? Is it profit? Which one is it? And then identify out of my patients, which group do I have the most within my clinic? And then when you're doing that consult or having that conversation, identify which sort of choice do they like, do they want? And we'll talk in different episodes on how to identify according to their questions and how you can even facilitate it according to the questions that you ask on which sort of choice they're in. But our invitation to you is to identify which ones they are, and then identify which challenges are you facing as you are trying to deliver some sodas. Some sodas of choice are going to be very natural for you to deliver, and other ones are going to be a little bit more challenging. And as I said, as a community, our goal is to be able to provide solutions, prescribe solutions, be solution prescribers. So let's go out there and be solutions prescribers for our patients and for our clinics.